make a move in the ring. You can hit me with a word you fling.
Yeah, we have unstoppable Angela Lee One Championship atomweight champion on the line. Angela, huge news last week. You announced to the world that you and Bruno are expecting your first child. Must have been a crazy few months.
Yeah, thank you. These have been really exciting times. We're very happy. We wanted to wait a little while before we announced, just because I wanted to go to my doctor's appointments and make sure that everything is good and baby is healthy, I'm healthy, so we're happy.
Yeah, and I'm really sorry because I asked if I could have an interview with you a few weeks ago, and you were very kind, and you took the interview knowing that you had the baby on the way, and I'm sorry for putting you in that position to have to keep the secret. I really appreciate you doing the interview, but yeah.
No, it's no problem.
Oh, thanks so much. I just wanted to get your take on the atomweight Grand Prix that Chatri has announced as well, because are you going to be vacating the belt, or are you going to be keeping it? Is there going to be an interim champ? Do you have any idea?
Well, my plans, I can only speak for myself, and I know there is the atomweight Grand Prix, which is very exciting. I think that this is great because there are finally enough women in the division to really have an exciting tournament like this. I wish I could be in the tournament. That Grand Prix belt is so pretty. But yeah, as for myself, I plan on, I want to get back into fighting after I have my baby. And so my plan is to come back at the end of 2021 next year. And by that time, the Grand Prix tournament will be wrapping up. And I'd like to face, the winner of the Grand Prix tournament as my title. And they'll be fighting for my title. So I don't plan on vacating. I plan on coming back and fighting.
So the baby is due April 2021, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, when would you think you'd be back in training after that? I'd have no idea, obviously, but have you mapped out everything? Have you got a plan for what you're going to do in that sense?
I have no idea either. This is my first time doing this. But hopefully, fingers crossed, if everything goes smoothly, I'd like to give myself about 6 months and then come back to fight and defend my title in about October, November, or December. Who knows?
So who do you think is the biggest threat to you in that tournament? Who would you pick as your winner if you could give a prediction for us?
I'm not sure. I think that's what makes it so exciting, is that you really get to see how everything plays out in this division. I know there are a lot of talented female fighters who are set to be in the Grand Prix, and I'm curious to see who they end up picking. I mean, obviously, One Championship released the top 5 rankings, so I assume they're all going to be in there. I think that maybe Stamp and Atsuki and 1 or 2 other people should be in there as well. So yeah, I'll be watching from the sidelines, and I'll be watching closely to see how it plays out.
Do you think it's too soon for Victoria, your sister, to be thrown in at the deep end of the tournament?
Oh, that is hard to say. I think it would definitely, I think it would definitely be a great experience for her because the women who are in the division, they're kind of seasoned. They've had quite a bit more fights than she has. It would be a great experience for her. But I'm not sure. I'll leave that up to my dad to make that decision.
Yeah, I spoke to Victoria a few weeks ago, and she said she'd like to make her debut this year. Do you think she could feature maybe on one of these shows? It looks like One Championship is going to do a bunch of shows in Singapore, right?
I think that's the plan. I think that would be ideal. Just because she's really familiar with it. She's been with us to so many events backstage. And, of course, with our Singaporean heritage and our roots and family over there, it makes sense.
And Christian is definitely going. He's going to be October 30 defending his title against Yuri Lapicus. I'm presuming you won't be making the trip. How annoying is it to miss out on his camp, on being in his corner?
Yes, Christian, he has been preparing for months now. We've really had this whole year to kind of focus on training and just staying ready. So I was actually supposed to fight on this card with Christian. I was training really hard and I was actually in the best shape of my life, I'd say. I was 10 pounds away from my fight weight. And then we found out I was pregnant. So, I mean, life has a funny way of, working itself out. And I believe everything happens for a reason. But yeah, I'm super excited for Christian. I'm bummed out that I won't be able to attend. But I have so much faith in him that he's going to have an excellent first title defense.
So you were going to be on the card as well. That would have been 5 title fights.
Yes, that would have been a huge card. But I know it's going to be a great event regardless.
Could you tell us who you were going to fight? Was it going to be Denise, or had they picked an opponent already for you?
Nothing was written in stone. They just told me that, they're shooting for October. They didn't even know at the time if they could lock in that date. But yeah, they told me to get ready for that.
Wow. That must be frustrating, but obviously you said in your Instagram post, becoming a mother is more important than any world championship title. Yeah, just how excited are you? How thrilled are you for this new challenge in life?
It is exciting. I'm really grateful. And, being pregnant is just a really big blessing. So this whole journey is new to me. I'm taking it one step at a time. The past few weeks, I've had pretty bad nausea and a lot of fatigue. So I actually haven't been able to train or do anything whatsoever. But I'm hoping that within the second trimester, things will get better. And maybe I can even, start training or something like that.
What was the conversation like with Chatri when you told him? He's been very happy for you guys, but he must have been sad to lose you as a fighter, but I'm sure he's been, like an arm around your shoulder and everything like that.
Chatri is amazing. I was really pretty nervous to tell him. I mean, I was more nervous to tell my parents, but I was like second nervous to tell Chatri. But of course, when he found out the news, he was thrilled. He was really happy for me and Bruno. And he has known us ever since our relationship has began. So it's really cool to have him also kind of like a part of this journey. And yeah, his support is everything.
Well, have you spoken to him maybe about moving up again when you come back? Is the plan to defend the atomweight title and then have another go at strawweight? Maybe that trilogy with Zhong Jingnan is still going to be there. Obviously, she fights Tiffany Teo on October 30th.
Yeah, honestly, he didn't put any pressure on me. He said, there's no rush for you to come back. Just take your time. But, me being the fighter I am, I was eager to tell him or to let him know that I am interested in fighting again. I'm not calling it quits. I'm 24. I'll be 25 next year, which I still think I'm very young in my career. And that for sure I'll be able to stay on top once I get back.
Did that ever cross your mind about maybe not coming back? Because you have achieved so much at such a young age. There's not much left for you to do in that atomweight division, I guess. I guess there is still the chance to go up and win another belt. But did you ever think maybe I should just walk away on top now?
Honestly, I didn't think about that when I got pregnant. I was thinking about that after my last title defense. It crossed my mind for a bit. But now that I am pregnant, I think there's a new motivation for wanting to come back. And especially after I have my baby, just a new motivation to fight for him or her. And yeah, like I said, I'll be 25. So I still think I'll be incredibly young. And I still have quite a few years in me. And I love what I do. I honestly love fighting. I love MMA. So yeah, I want to get back to what I love doing after this.
What about Bruno? Is Bruno going to be fighting in the meantime? Is he going to be staying with you? Would you give him your blessing to go and train and fly to Singapore if he's going to have a fight?
Definitely. We are in full support of each other. Bruno, he's going to take all the fights he can. Before I gave him up until March. I said, okay, I'm having the baby in April. Your last fight can't be anytime close to March. And then, of course, we do plan on him staying home and being with me and the baby after April.
Was it so Christian? I could just ask you a bit about him as well. What's his training camp situation? When will he be flying over? Is there going to be any quarantine? Do you know anything about the protocols that one are going to put in place for these shows?
So let's see how to put this. This situation is incredibly unique, and this is the first time as fighters having to go through like these strict regulations, just because, you know, it's the Singaporean government that one championship has to go through. So they're scheduled to leave Hawaii a few days earlier before fight week. What I know so far is they'll have to take a COVID test here in Hawaii 72 hours prior before their flight. Once they land in Singapore, I'm pretty sure they'll have to do more testing in a quarantine. But if everything looks good and checks out, then they'll be confined to the fight hotel, and they'll be, you know, staying there. And I'm sure they have even more strict regulations about, you know, what happens on fight week and on event day. But I don't know any of that. So that's all I know.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be excited to watch that show on October 30th. You're also excited for Friday, One Championship, Reign of Dynasties, back in Singapore, the first show in Singapore since February. Yeah, I presume you're going to be tuning in, right?
Definitely. I'm so excited that One is back. That international fighters can finally, you know, get back in the ring. And I'm sure that it's going to be full of exciting fights because everyone, you know, has been dying to get back in there.
Awesome. Well, we're going to watch it too. Can't wait to see it. Thanks so much, Angela. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Good luck with everything. And yeah, good luck for Christian. And hopefully we catch up with you soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Take care.
You too. Bye.